What's up, guys? Sean Alexander, Apex Pressure Cleaning. I kind of wanted to do a comparison video on soft wash metering valves. I had an idea for this for a while, but it seems like today might be the day because I happen to have almost all of them here in the shop. The only ones I'm missing are the Japanese-made Asahi valves, which I have used. I do like them. They're a good valve. And I'm also missing the Hayward. I've never used a Hayward valve, so I don't really have an opinion on them. But let's just go over what I have here on the bench, and I'll talk about what I like about them and what I don't like about them. You know, and again, this is my opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. But we'll start here with the tried and true Pentair valve. These are made in Taiwan. They're, I do believe, made for the pool and spa industry. It is a true metering valve, though, you know, it has its faults. But like I said, these are probably the most inexpensive valves that you can get if you buy one at a time. So we have those. Again, most people, if you've been soft washing, you've used those before. The next one down the line, this is a 1/2-inch precision flow metering valve. These are coming out of China. A lot of guys are starting to get these. You can find them on a lot of soft wash pages. Nice things about these valves, they're a little bit more robust than the Pentairs. The mounting system is considerably nicer than those, and I'll go over that stuff in a minute. It's a 90-degree throw versus, you know, the 270-degree throw on the Pentair and in the 180-degree throw on the GF here. But it's not a true ball. If you like can get in that hole there, the ball is hollow. These are cut to 30 degrees. When you order these from China, they'll allow you to customize them a little bit. You can put your name on them and things like that. And they'll allow you to customize what degree cut you want on that ball. Next down the line is the Swiss-made GF or George Fischer. These, like I said, are made in Switzerland. These are a damn good valve, okay? There's a couple things I don't like about them, but real nice valve. They have the threaded mounts on the back so you can mount them. This is a full ball. If you like can get inside, let me take the bottom cap off. It is a full ball, so you can't see through it, but there is a V cut in it. The you know, the construction is very nice on these valves. I've never had any issues with them. We sell quite a few systems with them. However, they're very expensive, okay? And if you've ever priced one of those, you'll know that those are pretty pricey. Now, all the valves I have on the table here are 1/2-inch valves, except for this one that we're going to go over next. This is another precision flow. Again, everything that I said about these pertains to the 3/4 inch. And the reason I put the 3/4 inch up here, and again, Eli, you can shine through there. That's wide open. That's a 30-degree cut. But if you look through this side, the ball is not full. You know, let's call it hollow. The ball is hollow on the inside with that 30-degree cut in there. But the reason I have it on the table is because I wanted you to see the difference in the size of the bodies of these two. Because again, 1/2-inch, 3/4 of an inch. But then next up we have Southeast Soft Wash's batch buster valves. Now these things are freaking awesome. However, they're also expensive. But what I wanted to show you, the reason I have the 3/4 on here, is every valve that Southeast Soft Wash will sell you is a 1-inch valve. So you can see the difference between the 3/4 here on the left and the 1-inch valve body on the right. So the nice thing about the valves that the Southeast Soft Wash guys are selling is that they're kind of modular, because you get a 1-inch valve, and if you're running a 1/2-inch system, and they give you both of these in the kit or in the box when you buy them, you get a 1/2-inch. Let's call this a flange. I don't know if there's a real name for it, but you get a 1/2-inch flange, and the 1/2-inch flanges are black. They also give you a red 1-inch flange that you can use on a bigger system, like a gas system. Now, I don't happen to have a red flange here, so you'll just have to go with me on that. But if you look inside, this one is a full ball as well, I believe. And this ball is white. They sell two different styles on their website. This is, I think, the standard flow valve or standard flow ball, whereas opposed to that one, which is blue. Oh, and I guess it's red on the inside too. The blue ball is what they call the super ball, and I think there's a claim to more flow on the website. But as you can see, it's a full ball with a V cut in it, as opposed to what we saw here, where the ball is hollow. It's kind of empty on the inside with just that V cut. So let's go over some pros and cons of each one. Again, this is my opinion. I'm no engineer. I don't build these things, but you know, I've been using them. So the Pentair valve, pros of this bad boy: they're cheap. Okay, that's also a con because they're cheap. Another pro, though, is they're readily available. If I needed one of these, you can go to Amazon and get one overnight to your place. And, you know, chances are if you're in the field using a proportioner with Pentair valves and one of these goes bad, number one, I think you should have a spare with you, especially if you're using Pentairs. Keep a spare on your rig. But if you needed another one, you can get them very quickly. Chances are, you know, Amazon will overnight the thing to you and away you go. The cons of this thing: you really got to treat these with kid gloves. They're very delicate. And the biggest issue is this seam along the body of the valve itself. I believe they're built in two pieces and then sonic welded together. And what you have to be careful of is when you're building your proportioner, I see a lot of guys do this. They'll take the pipe nipple and they'll thread it in. And when you thread these together, it gets tight pretty quick. You should have 3, 4, 5 threads of that nipple showing. I've seen these things just totally bedded right in there, and you'll crack the flange around the valve. I've seen guys run a hose clamp, you know, up over top of the valve to kind of hold it together. You shouldn't have to do that. You just can't, you know, you can't really tighten these down all the way. Now, the issue, how this becomes a con is, let's say we get that in there like so, and then we use our metering block or our manifold block, and we need to, you know, connect this. Next thing you know, what happens is it gets tight, and I don't really want to tighten it anymore because I don't want to crack the valve, but now my valve is not clocked correctly. So you have to be careful. You can't turn this valve. You have to grab something like an adjustable wrench. I know this isn't the right way to do it, and you need to turn it, you know, into the manifold block like that so you can get it clocked correctly. So that's one of the cons. Also, one of the pros, I guess I can put this in there. One of the pros of the Pentair valve is its size. It's physically quite small. And when you put it in when you get it assembled on a proportioner, you do have to shim it, or when we mount them on systems, we do shim them away from the mounting plate. We use an 1/8 inch piece of HPD or HDPE plastic. And that shims them away pretty good. So now you have a gap underneath the valve. So not bad. It's not a bad valve. Like I said, you just got to treat them with kid gloves. Keep spares with you because you'll need them. All right. So the next one that we have is, like I said, the precision flow. Now, nice things that I like about these is the cost to the people who are buying them, I guess. I know that sounds dumb, but you can get these fairly inexpensively. However, you got to buy a whole bunch of them. If you were to buy one or two, you're going to spend 80 or 90 bucks a piece on them. But if you can buy them in bulk, you can get them for a lot cheaper than that. Now, what I like about these is their mounting. It has a removable flange and collar, which allows you to, it allows you to take the pipe nipple and thread that in and get that tight. Again, you don't over tighten them, but it allows you to get it tight and then put it into the manifold like so, if I can screw it in there correctly, like that. And then you mount the valve and thread the valves into their mounting collars like so, and then you can tighten like this, meaning you get to clock the valve in the correct orientation and then just tighten the collar down onto the O-ring. So that's a nice way of doing things. Now, the downsides of these is, I'm going to guess longevity. I don't think any of us know how long these things are going to go for. They are built better than the Pentair valves, but they're, like I said, they're the new valve on the block. So, you know, I don't know if anybody's gone through a set of these yet to see how long they will indeed last. Other than that, I do like the 90-degree throw. I'm not a big fan of 180 degrees of movement. However, the 90-degree throw is probably going to be less precise when it comes to metering your solutions, but I've never been stuck on having a precise house wash mix. If I'm looking for a 1.5% and I get 1.45%, I don't care. So with that being said, let's move on to the GF valve. The GF valve, the mounting, the way it mounts is very nice, just like all the rest of them that are going to be on the table. So we have a removable flange, a movable collar. They are rebuildable, as are the precision flows. They're also rebuildable, and I do believe Cody's from Southeast Soft Wash, his are also rebuildable. Now, I don't know where you're ever going to get parts for these. It's probably more advantageous to go and just buy a new valve, but they are rebuildable with the O-ring seals. I do not like their the way, I guess you would run them, how they meter. It's a full 180-degree swing, but I don't know if, here, I'll take the handle off and Eli can look at the numbers. You go from 0 to 160, 140, 120. The numbers don't make any sense to me. So you have 0 at the top and 0 at the bottom. So when you put the valve on, it has 2 arrows, one at the top and one at the bottom. So one's going to say 0, the other one's going to say 0. But if you turn it 90 degrees, one says 80, the other one says 80. But as you go anything more, this one says 120, this one says 120. But I don't know what I'm looking at for percentage. I've personally never used a GF valve on a setup that I've built, or I'm sorry, that I've run. I build a lot of systems with GF valves and people are happy with them. I just never personally used one on like my own rig. So, but the collars are very thick, just like all the rest of these. So there's very little chance that you're going to break or crack it like you do with the Pentairs. So, and also it's a full ball like on the Southeast Soft Wash valves. So it's a full ball in there if Eli can get in there with a V cut. So good valve. I mean, great valve, to be honest with you. Some downsides of the GF though is there is no 3/4 inch option. At least I've never seen one. If I'm wrong, you can put it down in the comments. If GF makes a 3/4 inch valve, let me know. I've never seen one. But I do believe they make a 1 inch, and they even make a 3/8 inch, which is kind of weird if you're ever going to build something small for like a downstream injector or whatever. The 3/4 inch precision flow, everything is the same as the 1/2 inch. Again, I just wanted to put it on the table to show the physical size of these things. So with that being said, let's go to the Batch Buster. What I like about these is the 1 inch valve body. it's huge. Okay, these things are going to flow, and I have put them on our proportioner tester. They flow good, even with 5.5 gallon per minute Everflow pumps. But because it is a 1-inch valve, one of the issues we have is when we build systems with these, and we've never done it. I've thrown a system together with there and played with them, but I've never had a customer choose this option because, like I said, they are quite expensive. But if you look, you know, if I go to mount this metering block or the manifold block to my systems, look how much interference I'm going to have with the valve itself. So what it ends up doing is I have to put quite a few of my shims on there. That's a 1/4 inch, or I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch, and that's nowhere near enough. I'd have to put another one and maybe even 2 to get that because the valve body is so big. So there's some downfalls to all that flow. Now, what is nice is that Southeast Soft Wash has obviously done their homework on these valves. These things are phenomenal. It is a 180-degree throw on the lever, but it's idiot-proof. If you want 1.5, go to the 1.5. You want 3%, go to the 3. You want 4.5%, go to the 4.5. Open it wide up or wide open. I do believe you get 6 or something close to that. So, I mean, kudos to Cody and the gang building these things. They're awesome. But sometimes they're just so hard to package and a little bit tough on your wallet. But with that being said about the price, they will grow with your system. Whether you start with a 5.5 gallon per minute Everflow 12-volt system, and you know your soft washing buddy down the road convinces you to go to gas, you don't need another valve. You can just continue to use the same valves. You just need to use the red collars or the red flanges. So that's pretty nice. So, you know, the old adage of buy once, cry once, maybe that's going to pertain to that little section there. So, and the other one that Cody builds, the Super Bowl, that's the blue ball, and it does have this red inner portion. Again, these are all fully rebuildable, I believe. You know, you'd have to talk to them about that, but, you know, the mounting lugs on the back, again, it's just, it gets so big, you know, you got to package it, but, you know, you got to determine whether the value is there on a valve like this, because, again, you are going to spend quite a bit to get a set of these, but they're probably going to last you a lifetime. So, you know, we've used obviously the Precision Flow. We use a ton of the Pentairs, and I've had a couple break on me. We use quite a few of the GFs. It is a $400 option on our systems because, again, the price of these valves is pretty high. Now, we have here an example of a 3/4 inch system or a 3/4 inch proportioner built out. These are available on our website, www.budgetsoftwashsolutions.com. I do believe this is probably the cheapest 3/4 inch proportioner you can get into. It starts off with a big 2.25 by 2.25 6061 aluminum mixing block. We have full 3/4 inch all the way from the barb fitting, 3/4 inch check valve, 3/4 inch fittings into a 3/4 inch valve, 3/4 inch fitting, and the bleach and the water are the same. We have a 1-inch bypass that you can uncap and, you know, run a bypass of some kind through there. Like I said, the bleach and the water are the same, and then we have a 1/2 inch soap or surfactant leg. And this is all, starts off with a 1/4 inch nipple into a 1/2 inch valve, the yellow handles, and a 1/2 inch check valve into a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch enlargement or a reducing nipple, and then out into the block itself and into your pump. So we have these on the website. They're $475.99, which, again, I think is the most inexpensive 3/4 inch proportioner you're going to find. We're going to start putting these on our systems. I know they're not on our website now. But if you want a 12 volt, either a 5.5 gallon a minute system or a 7 gallon a minute system, and you want a 3/4 inch proportioner on it, give me a call. I will do it. I just haven't got around to putting it on the website. And when you do buy something from us, I try to put together a ratio chart for your proportioner. If you've never used a proportioner before, I try to put together this. You need to understand that these are estimated numbers. So you know, take that as you may, but I try to give you a little bit of insight on how to use this when you first get it, whether you're using 10% bleach or 12.5%. So that usually comes in the package, so there it is. But I hope this kind of clears up a little bit on metering valves. I know it's not a full comprehensive breakdown on them, but you know, I've never seen a video on the different kinds that are out there, so I just wanted to put something together for you. But if you have any questions, you can give me a call, even 810-284-2545, or head up to our website. I'd love to get the numbers up, the traffic up on the website. You know, tell your buddies, if anybody out there that you know is into soft washing or looking to get into soft washing. It's budgetsoftwashsolutions.com. I'm not trying to be an industry leader here. I just want to put together systems for, you know, the entry-level washer or somebody who doesn't want to go broke buying equipment. I stand behind everything we make. If you have any questions, you know, you can obviously call me. I put my name and number out there. It's my business line. So, you know, head over to the website, budgetsoftwashsolutions.com, and see what we have to offer. Thanks, guys. See you.